Hi, my name is Vishal. In this video, let's have a look on few tools which is there here in the toolbar, starting from the width tool to the wrinkle tool. So I've used these tools here just to create this simple abstract illustration. So let's get started with that. So I have these tools, the shapes which I've created with the primitives. So I just delete them, and then let's start creating a simple sphere. So I'm using the ellipse tool and then just drag a circle. Okay, so I hold the shift and then I've just created that. So I'll be selecting a red color there for the body, and then I'll just choose a black color stroke. I also increase the stroke width, and you got this here. So you can select the stroke width and then you can modify the shape here. You could see it looks more stylized, like sort of using a nib pen and then getting that style of variation thickness. So you can try using different types of presets what you have got here. Just need to select that and change it. So you can also reset that by choosing the uniform tool, uniform preset. So what I'm going to do here is go to the width tool, use Shift W as a keyboard shortcut. So select that and then hover your cursor on the curve, click and drag, and then you can modify the width there. You can generally add as number of the width tool options like that, and then try to make it more uniform. So I'm reducing the width and it overall multiplies the thickness from here. So you can also change that color to something else, like instead of black, I've changed it to a dark red, and I just scale it small. Okay, so this is something which I've achieved with the width tool, but going closer, you can generally select the width tool and then you can double click and control that width related options here with the dialog box. So you can increase the width of one tangent handle, or you can do that on the opposite side here. You can lock that and then you can change the width there. Okay, so when I'm adjusting the width here, the width of that curve is affecting while the other anchor points are not getting affected. So if I just enable adjust adjoining width, so when I increase the width of this handle, see what happens to these handles here. So it's increasing the thickness of the other handles also. So if I switch off that, and then it will affect only that particular handle. And if I add another line here and then put tight close to that, and then if you see, I've got a very sharp cut there. Okay, so if you double click that particular point, then you get the width tool with dialog box whose settings, 2-point settings are popped up here, like because they are at the same location. That happens only when the 2 points are extremely close or at the same location. Like here, this one is here, and here this one is here, right? So if I generally select that and just put to that same location, double click, then you get the two handles control there. Okay, so that's the width tool for us. So I'm going to select this. Okay, and then hold Alt and then scale it down, and then switch off the width and then change the color to something lighter, or maybe I can change this color, sorry, to something blue, and then light blue. Okay, and this one so I just created some abstract shape which is in circular shape, and got something just to create something random. Yeah, and then I scale it down and then just put it like that. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a circle, okay, and then move it back, like that. Okay, okay, so what I'm going to do here is change the color to red, and then I can just place it like that. I just change the width, and then let me choose the rotate tool, move the anchor point, there, and then rotate it just to get that starting point. Okay, that's cool. So we have some tools here, something like crystallize, and then when you click, then you get this. Okay, just if I double click it, you have certain controls. Okay, you can set the intensity to 50 and add details to 4, and then click, and that will be a little bit more intense. So I'm not doing on this side, like I'm doing it here, and if I double click, you have the width, height, angle, and intensity, which is basically controlling the brush dimensions. Okay, so if I want to change the brush size, I hold Alt and drag it. So you see the width is increased, and if I do it vertical, the height will be increased. Okay, if I hold Shift, the overall radius increases. So this brush radius, width, and height dimensions can be controlled here. So when you have non-proportional brush, okay, let's say I have this brush which is elliptical, so I can change the angle of that to 45, and then you get this brush here. Okay, so double click and then put 50, 50, and then angle can be 0, and then maybe I can choose 150, 150. So I can choose that and increase the strokes, the brush size there. The intensity is how much fast this effect is shown in the result. Click that and then you get like something like this. Okay, very similarly you have scallop tool, which pulls everything into the center, and the same thing will be there for the scallop tool. You have complexity and details, which is basically I'll show it in the crystallize. So you have complexity and detail. So when you apply that, you see 1, 2, 3 points are given. When I increase the detail, then you could see the number of points what we have got have increased there. So I just increase the detail here to 2, complexity back to 1, and then when I increase that, you can see that again the number of pulls what you have got here have increased. So 1, I got only this. When I increase the details to 3 or 4, then you get more number of points coming out here. So like that. So just keep it simple for now. And we have this bloat tool. Bloat tool generally pushes everything outside the stroke. Whatever is the center, it pushes outside. Okay, again you have the same things, so you can reduce the intensity of the bloat, okay, with the detailing. So intensity is the amount of stroke, the detailing of that, when I just push that, the way the shapes are getting affected is controlled. So you have the PUCKER tool, which is basically opposite of that bloat tool. Okay, so PUCKER will push everything to the center. You see, in single click everything came. So I need to reduce the intensity, and then the effect is quite minimal. Okay, and you have a Twirl, which basically makes all this stroke rotate like that. So that gives a, so when I choose this twirl rate is negative. If I increase this to positive, the rotation will be opposite side. Okay, like that. And we have warp tool, where you can select and then sculpt that overall shape. Like that, the warp tool. Then we have a wrinkle tool. Wrinkle tool have vertical, horizontal complexities. So just when you click that, that becomes more jittery or noisy, like that. It looks like a more vector blood splash or water splash there. It looks nice. So you can just explore these tools and create something crazy here. Now I select that stroke and then make a couple of copies. Okay, and then change the color to orange, bring forward, double click and give a different color. So you see, we just created something abstract, and also you can use this warp tool and then just randomize the shapes like that. Okay, I have something more interesting here, so I select the polygon tool and then just okay, take it back bring forward, and then I'm adding a black stroke. I'll increase the stroke there, and then I use this crystallize tool and then do this. You see that it creates a nice bubble background to it, generally what you see in comics. Okay, maybe I can scale it big, and then I think the stroke is not really helping. I just select some dark color stroke, reduce the stroke thickness, okay, and then I use a radial gradient, and then I increase cyan, magenta, and then create that blue, increase cyan, and reduce everything. That's awesome. Like that. So sky is the limit, and you can explore more such possibilities here, and explore these tools to create something crazy in terms of design, and see you.